Disclaimer: the following is a non-profit fan-based review. Black Clover is owned by Crunchyroll, Viz Media, Studio Pieria, TV Tokyo, Shueisha, and Yuki Tabata. Please support the official release. A fierce battle occurs between Asta and Ichika. Ryuya stops the fight. However, more danger approaches the land of the sun. Oh boy. Hey guys, Ella1997 and welcome back to page 343 of Black Clover, and round 2 between Asta and Ichika has commenced. While the chapter was good for the most part, the ending really shocked me the most. Oh great, as if Asta hasn't suffered enough already. Now there are a few questions I really must ask, so hopefully in the next chapter things will clear things up. But for now, let's get on with this week's chapter. The chapter begins with Asta backing away from her, but unfortunately, Ichika pulls him towards her, almost like a black hole. Just as she was about to cut him, Asta goes into his double union, knowing that he will try to sever any magic or Yoyoku that's affecting him. The fight continues, and we even see Asta do his own version of Yami's dimensional slash, which is pretty neat by the way. Just when he was about to hit her, she teleports away and uses her dark Yojutsu, Black Star. Now, according to Ichika, the best way she can use her magic is with Taijutsu, martial arts, and Kenjutsu, sword fighting. With her Black Star, it uses its pull to create vulnerabilities to her opponents. However, since she cast it on herself, Asta won't be able to predict her aim, so she will be able to strike him easily. But unfortunately, Asta uses his Demon Destroyer to eliminate the clones. Now, in terms of sheer Yojutsu and magic, both their skills are almost equal. Although, the real challenge is determining how well they'll use Zetten. Ichika knocks Asta to the water and she remarks at how he'll never outmaneuver her using Zetten. She also mentions about someone who stands above others, ranks equal to the Shogun, or to Asta's case, the Wizard King. And she then asks him how someone like him, with no resolution, conviction, or even real skills for that matter, can become someone like that. Well, Ichika, if you know that Asta doesn't have any magic like Ryuya, then you know for sure that Asta can become someone like him. But then again, she is consumed by her anger towards him since Asta looks up to Yami a lot. You know, the same brother that killed their entire clan, which again, I still find it hard to believe. And speaking of anger, Asta senses her ki is filled with anger towards him and Yami, but there's more to it than that in her heart. Ichika doesn't say anything about this and basically just tells him to shut up. That's when Asta finally figures out what form will be his Zetten, and he can perfect it, he can win. But just before they both can perform Zetten, that's when their attacks were stopped by Ryuya. Wow, he was able to block 2 strong attacks at ease. Very suspicious. After Ryuya stops the fight, we get this moment where Ichika was about to admit Senkaku for hurting Ryuya, but tells her not to do that because that's just scary. Meanwhile, Asta is left in a state of thought on how he couldn't use Zetten. I mean, no matter what, even if he were to perfect it, he still would have lost if Ryuya hadn't interfered. Speaking of Ryuya, well, it's no surprise that he knew that these two were fighting thanks to his clairvoyance and knows that if the battle had continued, one of them or both would have been dead. However, it does raise an eyebrow how he was able to block those 2 attacks with no magic whatsoever at ease. In the last chapter, it was stated by Yami's dad that he had a vast amount of magic within him. If that were the case, what happened to it? Now, I mentioned this in my last video, but maybe at some point he lost it. Or maybe when he obtained his clairvoyance, all his magic must have been depleted. That could explain why he wears his eye patch. Again, we don't know yet, but we might have a hint of what that is. But as if things couldn't get any worse, here's what happened in the end. The chapter ends with Ryuya sends a new threat arriving to the country, and in the last page, we see Sister Lily and 2 new Paladins arriving at the land of the sun.
I don't feel safe.
So yeah, the Paladins arrived to the Hino country. How in the heck did they find this place? Could it be that they somehow knew that Asta is alive there? I don't think so, because remember, while Lucius was able to foresee the possible outcomes, he couldn't see Asta in one of them due to him not having any magic. So maybe they're here for a different reason. Could it be for Ryuya? I'll get into that in just a minute. Now, the real question is, who exactly are these two behind Sister Lily? They could be new characters, but they strangely look familiar somehow. Especially the guy on the right. He looks exactly like Heath Grease.
Who?
You know, the guy that does ice magic. The guy that attacked Magna's village. The first member of the Eye of Midnight Sun we met during Asta's first mission.
I don't remember any of this.
The guy that killed himself.
Oh my god!
There we go, that's more like it. So anyways, if this guy really is Heath, how was he revived? Do they have a paladin that could somehow revive the dead or something? Could it be that the guy on the left might have a titan to something? Now, honestly, I'm not sure who this guy is, but he's giving me the impression that that's Rita's being possessed. Because when you think about it, it fits the description, considering that Ritas' magic is soul quartz, which allows him to reanimate and control corpses. There's also his soul adapter that allows him to summon back a sacrificed soul and return her to their body, removing any injuries associated with a person's death. And also, in case of the original's body was destroyed, their soul can be placed into an artificial one or one similar to it as the substitution. That would explain how Heath was revived. But until we know for sure who these two are and how he was actually quote-unquote revived, we had to wait till the next chapter. So the second battle between Asta and Ichika was brutal, and either of them would have been dead if Ryuya hadn't stepped in. Although, during the fight, two things to note. One, the move Ichika used against Asta, her Black Star, resembles a bit like Yami's Black Moon, since they can create small black holes and pull their enemies towards it. The difference being is that one can control the surrounding mana within their range, while the other disrupts the opponent's movement in that particular area. So that's where I see the similarities end. The other thing to note is regarding Asta sensing Ichika's ki. It's not only anger she has, there's something else to it. Like I said before, she likely doesn't know the whole truth on why Yami quote-unquote killed his own clan, and deep down, she also wants to know why. But she doesn't want to admit it, so hopefully we'll get an explanation of what actually happened that night very soon. But honestly, what really surprised me the most in this chapter was mainly Sister Lily and the new Paladins arriving at the Land of the Sun. And that they're not here for Asta. Could it be that they're here for Ryuya? Mainly his clairvoyance. Could it be that his eye is somehow tied to the former ruler of the underworld, Osterov? That could be the reason why Ryuya doesn't have any magic and how he got enough strength to block those attacks. Which, mind you, it has the strength of a demon's power and the other with strong dark magic. That could be a possibility. But until then, we'll just have to wait and see. But what do you guys think of the chapter? Is there anything I may have missed or mistaken when covering this chapter? Please say so in the comment section below, alright? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to be notified for the next chapter, alright? And hopefully though, I know for sure that Asta's gonna have a lot of PTSD when seeing Sister Lily again, but hopefully at some point, he'll be able to save her. So let's pray that she gets saved very soon. So anyways, thank you, good night, and remember, the magic within you will never give up. Peace!